Yep, thank you. Welcome everyone to Community and Tourism meeting on the 20th of March 2025. Have we received any apologies?
Had no formal apologies, Chair.
Oh,
Alan Goose will be late.
Councillor Goode will be late, and Councillor Motta did send his apologies via me. I did email Louise, I think, which was probably not helpful, but I did email earlier on. So. Number 2 on the agenda, interests. Have we got any declarations of interest and dispensation award? No. Oh. Okay. So the minutes are from the last meeting on the 23rd of January. Has everybody had a read through them? Anything you want to raise, or can we just approve these?
Origin.
Yeah. I'll propose the minutes, and Councillor Surrey will second them. All those in favour? And 1 abstention. Thank you, Councillor Cheney. Number 4 on the agenda, any matters arising? Councillor Surrey.
Thanks. Page 3, just top of page 3, I think we chatted a little bit about RFO clarification around grant process. I think there was going to be a conversation potentially with the feedback today, but I don't know whether that might come in due course or whether. Sorry, that's a rather unclear matter arising.
As I alluded to in the previous committee meeting and by email, I think it's worth the Events Working Party have a meeting with the RFO, as it's really the financial regs grants policy that you need to kind of revisit. It's kind of falls outside of the remit that I can advise you on, I'm afraid. So that's kind of where I personally left it.
That's fine, thank you. I think I spoke to the events officer, and she was unsure whether the RFO officer could come. So, well, maybe for the next round of councillors who take this forward.
Open session for electors. We have no one in the gallery. Have we got any written?
No written questions, Chair.
No written questions. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, number 6, we'll come to the CCTV Service Managers Report. Charity.
Thank you. It's quite short and sweet tonight. You've got your usual CCTV stats there. Section 3, key issues to draw to your attention. We, as per the 2025-26 budget setting process, we're due to increase our budgeted level of monitoring hours, and a report went to GNR, which was initially cancelled in February and went to the GNR on the 12th of March, just to say that the plan is to update the current CCTV staff contracts to better reflect the hours that they're frequently working, and to go out to recruitment for the remaining hours in the rota schedule, and then to implement that new shift schedule. We're currently in consultation with existing staff about upgrading their contracts. I've had all 5 meetings this week, so that should be going through soon. The Heron Tennis Centre, we agreed to relocate the camera to Island Crescent when we get the new budget in April. However, the Heron Centre have asked if we would be willing to, if they were to buy a camera through us, whether we'd be willing to monitor that camera for a fee. And a camera is nearly £3,000, and there would be an ongoing recharge rate for staffing to go towards staffing costs, which is £2,701.49 a year. So it's just to establish whether or not, as a committee, you feel you would want to monitor their camera if that's what they chose to do.
Is this something we do anywhere else or for anybody else?
No.
No. Okay.
Only St Austell, which is the whole town.
Sure. Yeah. Any thoughts on that, Councillor Creek?
Yeah, so I seem to remember we talked about this last time, didn't we? And I think we took your view and sort of set the strategic direction that, in terms of the coverage, you felt that it wasn't an area that was necessarily needing the coverage, but I'm just trying to remember as I talk, they were having a new playing surface relayed and were really keen for it to be covered. But I think where we got to was ultimately saying that it wasn't, certainly from your perspective and ours, I think wasn't required, and that we would leave the ongoing strategic sort of operationalising the strategic direction to yourself. If they want to pay us to do it, and you feel that that's within your gift to offer, then that's fine. I certainly wouldn't be encouraging more work on your plate if you don't feel it is, operational.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I feel like I've gone round in circle there.
Just said lots of words.
Ultimately, Charity, you're the expert. We aren't. I think you said it wasn't needed. I think we broadly agreed, and that's where we got to.
I feel like the offer of them to pay for it is new. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were just asking for a camera back last time, and that's when we agreed that
Yeah,
it wasn't
so they would buy
needed,
a
but-
brand new camera, and then they would have to pay that recharge rate on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
I mean, the camera where it was before only covers the back alley, so like Wildflower Lane. It wouldn't even be trained onto their courts, so it's still not going to offer them great level of safety, even if it was there.
Okay.
I personally feel they should set up their own surveillance system to cover their own asset, but I'll be led by the council.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if they had, have they ever seen what you previously saw through that camera, knowing how little it would actually benefit them?
I don't think so. No.
So obviously we would not, if there was more benefit to the public by virtue of them wanting to pay for the camera to be returned to the exact same place that it was, and that was still of benefit to them, then suddenly it becomes interesting to us because we have a sponsored camera almost, but ultimately they would want the camera to be pointed on their courts, which then you have a town council monitoring a private, which is, yeah. So I think we'd probably get there eventually, even if we started going through the financials with them. So that seems like the thing that would be worth going back to telling them. We can't point a camera on your site. If you wanted to talk to us about putting money towards a camera that was already there monitoring the public space, great, but I mean, that's not in their benefit, I imagine. So
That was it from me.
Any thoughts, Joe? You've got anything to add to that?
No, the only thing I was going to advise committees, as you're aware, you're in pre-election period anyway, so this would have only been a steer for Charity to take back to. And just for clarity, I don't believe this has been presented to them anyway in the formal quote. So, I mean, that just looking at the cost alone, I'm not sure if it can even be viable for them, given the coverage that it ultimately get.
maybe the killing dead of the conversation is we can't position a camera pointing on the tennis courts, and then you can say, by the way, you'd probably get a lot cheaper by going privately and getting the thing to do what you want to do.
That's great, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okie dokie, thank you very much, Charity. That was really helpful. Okay, so number 7 on the agenda is the Visit Newquay Managers Report. Hand over to Sue.
Hello. Just a general update really for me. We've completed the printing of the map, so that's all done. We're working on trails with Shirley and bids, so we'll be doing some trails through the year. It won't just be at Easter and things like that. We've got a few going through. And we're going down the Killer Court for the Easter with the trailer, so we'll be down there. Generally, I've just one with Joe one. I can mention that.
So yeah, there's certain items within Sue's report which we would need to discuss and exempt. So if we defer that till the end, and then it's not listed as exempt on the agenda, but that doesn't mean you can't go into exempt business. It doesn't. There's no report. Oh. All right. It will just be a verbal update from yourself. And yeah.
Okay, so shall I propose?
If you just skip to the next agenda item, and then when we get before the end, we'll go into exempt business and we'll bring Sue's back in.
We need to go through,
I don't believe so, Chair. I think it's just for noting.
just for noting. Anybody got any questions or thoughts on the Library Service Manager's report? Councillor Thuray.
Joe might have an update on this. I presume Arts Council's in, isn't it? We're just waiting to hear.
Sorry, Chair. I didn't catch that. I'm just
So
trying
yeah,
to find Sue's report.
no problem. Arts Council application is in, isn't it, for the library funding? I think we're just waiting to hear now, aren't we?
Believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not intimately involved with
That's fine.
that. I think Kieran and Joe are on that, but yeah, I believe it's going positive.
I think it might be due relatively soon. It should be an 8-week turnaround, I think.
Number 9 is the Corporate Services report.
So in the absence of the Corporate Service Manager, I don't have any significant updates. You've got a report from our comms officer. So she's been primarily focusing on the coming elections and putting out some real positive stories in terms of your own experiences being members of the council and the value found in it and given to the community. And that's, I think, had quite an uptick and a surge in interest. We've had, I mean, Sue might be able to say a bit more, but we've had quite a few people in TIC, I believe, just voicing their kind of interest really in joining the council in the next term. So it's been quite positive. And she's also working on the brand style guide, but that's going to have to transition between her and her maternity cover.
Oh. Well, congratulations to Sally. Great, thank you for that, Joe. Again, just thanks to Sally for all the work that she does. It does look really engaging. The stuff that goes out from Newquay Town Council is and the interactions mostly positive. I think it seems there's the odd one or two comments, but you know we're always going to get those. But yeah, I just think that she does a really good job. So thank you for that. Events is number 11. Obviously, Melissa's not here, but is there anything that we haven't actually had a events working party meeting? You've met with Melissa recently. Councillor Creek, do you have anything to feedback?
There's Easter. I know we talked about Easter. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, so Melissa has plans for Easter. So I think lots of chocolate eggs were purchased recently. I saw that yesterday, the receipts for that. Yeah, so and then we just talked through some of the other key events that are happening. We've got obviously the first Newquay Food Festival happening on the Killer Court in mid-July, I think. Cornwall Pride is coming back to Newquay. So back to Newquay from Truro. So rather than just having Newquay Pride, we're actually having Cornwall Pride in Newquay. I think I'm okay to say that, Joe. It's not political. Yeah, and then just we had a little very brief talk about some of the bits around Christmas, but we had a proper debrief about that a month or two ago, didn't we? So yeah, lots of really good events, lots of collaboration going on. Really excited to see what the Newquay Food Festival in particular, how that works with the widened drinking area. And whether that, what part that plays. I'm sure that will be an interesting one for charity and Azim as well. Yeah, I think that was everything we talked about in terms of events. Oh no, there is one other. We did talk about the annual general meeting, which of course has been bumped to the end of May because of the pre-election purdah period. Yeah, so there's that.
the other event, obviously, that's coming up in May is the Empowering Newquay's Future event, which the Town Council are very much involved with, which is a careers marketplace, which the TIC are getting involved. We would like the Town Council to have a presence there, so I need to speak to someone about having a stall so that you can talk about all the amazing jobs that we provide in the town. Yes, Councillor Smith, anything to add? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, number 12 is the Newquay Bid Manager's report for noting. Mark's given an overview of the events that he is working on at the moment. The headlines being spring, the events that are planned in collaboration with Newquay Town Council, which is really positive. Bunting project that bid has signed off. The Harbour Lights, Uplighter and Festoon, which is a TBC piece of work that's underway at the moment. Boardmasters collaboration. The Trinans Trail and the Shopfront funding and the Newquay Rangers funding applied for CLUP. So that's the main things that Mark's working on at the moment. Is there anything else to add to that, Joe?
I don't believe so, Chair.
Okay, great. Okay, dokes. And next on the agenda is the Community and Tourism Budget Analysis for 24-25. I'm going to hand over to Joe Pilbicki for this one.
I mean, to be honest, Chair, there's no decisions or necessarily, it's more just for your information. So I haven't personally gone through it line by line, so any questions I'll have to defer that to the RFO, I'm afraid.
Okay, lovely. Councillor Creek. Charity, go on. Thank you.
Thanks, Charity. I have gone through it line by line. Makes some interesting reading, actually. I was quite impressed with some of the income the numbers that were coming in, actually, versus the overall budget. So that's really positive. I was genuinely shocked at how much money we make off photocopying, which was just astonishing amounts of money. Yeah. Are you? Oh, it's you, is it? Oh, it's you. Okay. That's fine. Computer use is down 6%, but photocopying use is up significantly. I did have one particular query, and I think you'll tell me no, but I would ask Mr. Deputy Town Clerk if we can try and do something with it. I note that we've got a £3,000 underspend in the Youth Initiative Community Project pot. We have £5,000 budgeted. We gave £2,000 to Four Motions CIC. Can we utilise that money to put towards the Empowering Newquay Future project via the Orchard?
I think given
Let's look at the art of the possible, Joe.
I think given where we are,
Okay.
I'd say that's probably not advisable.
Right.
What you could potentially do is give a steer that you want that funding not to go into the general fund and to go into an EMR. But I think that's as best as going to be able to do it. I think to allocate it to a particular project which is new, I think I wouldn't advise it.
But the project isn't new. The project was instigated way before any PERDA. It's youth oriented, and it's a youth grant pot. No, sorry, it's not a youth grant pot. It's a youth pot that doesn't require grant activity to remove. So I suppose, and it does say at the moment, to be honest, if you look at the report, it does say that it will go to an EMR, youth EMR is what it says it will go to. I'm just asking if we can, give it to the Orchard to run that event, essentially. If you're telling me it's not,
I would need the RFO's advice on that. I don't think
Right,
I'll be able
okay.
to give you an answer here and now, I'm afraid.
okay, but it's going to go into the youth EMR essentially. Okay,
Certainly pass that to the RFO and get some advice from her.
yeah, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, we'd have to. I mean, that would be a really good outcome for that chunk of money to support that event because it's completely youth focused. It's going to be town wide. It's going to be for the benefit of the young people of Newquay. Yeah, we'll just have to see how that works. But thank you for at least exploring that. Okay, so budgets for noting. Do we need to? What do we need to do with that? Do we need to?
You don't need
Nothing.
to do anything. No, it's just purely there for your information.
We have seen them and they are great. Number 14 on the agenda is correspondence.
No correspondence, Chair.
Sorry? That's disappointing. Matters referred.
The only matters referred was from full council in regards to this council support for a kind of wholesale ban of phones in schools. I believe letters have already been circulated to the relevant schools anyway. So my understanding was this was piggybacked to this committee to see if there was anything wider that this committee wanted to do in terms of any additional further support. Again, given where we are in the year, it's going to be quite tricky to do a lot. So my only suggestion would be to keep it on the agenda for July's meeting, so it's not lost. But I'm assured that the letters have gone to the schools.
Yeah. Yes.
This is where Deputy Clerk Honey just did. Can I propose that the committee ask the future C&T committee to explore whether passing a motion, recommending to full council that a motion is passed that the town council supports a school-wide, town-wide school ban on the use of mobile phones. Can that be put in?
You actually need a vote on that, or can just have that as your aspiration for the new council and have that recorded in minutes. I mean,
yeah,
it
depends on how well the minutes are read by the future council.
True, but I mean, whether it's a resolution or whether it's a support or aspirational support, it will still be in the minutes. Yeah. So it will still be read one way or the other. I think I'm a little bit apprehensive with any decisions which are potentially binding the new council. You're not binding them, so potentially you could do that. But I'd err on the side of caution.
Okay.
This movement that's kind of building momentum across the town at the moment isn't going to go away. So I'm happy to propose that it just gets put on the agenda for the July meeting. It is something that a lot of parents are concerned about, and the momentum is definitely building thanks to Charlie, who came and spoke. So yeah, do we need to propose and then just keep it on the agenda? Okay, great. Okay, any other business? And then we'll go into exempt. Is that right? Yep. Any other business? Yes, Councillor Cheney.
This is the last meeting. There's no council meeting now. This is my last time at council. Thank you very much to everyone for their cooperation, particularly Deputy Clerk and the staff there, and the managers of the various departments that we cover, like the library, TIC, and the CCTV. I've been chair of this committee for about 2 years, then chaired another committee for 2 years before that. I enjoyed it. The only reason I'm leaving it is obviously health reasons and everything else now. I've got to step down. But thank you very, very much for all of you for your help and cooperation during the time.
Thank you, Councillor Cheney. Thank you for chairing this this committee before me, and thank you for continuing to be a committee member afterwards, and for your service to the town. Yep. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll move into exempt business. Oh, Sue. I'll propose that we go into exempt business. Do I have a seconder? I have a seconder. All those in favour? Great. Thanks.